Guys will do absolutely the craziest things after a breakup. And if you don't believe me, go to your gym and ask guys, or at least the single guys, what is the thing that motivates them to get off their ass, to get back in shape, get to the gym every day. And I guarantee a lot of those guys will say it was heartbreak, it was being newly single, it was the maybe getting back into the dating game again, something like that. For me, really, it wasn't all that different. In March, I'd gone through a really bad breakup. I'd just come back from Mexico, and I stepped on the scale and I was 196 pounds. Now, for me, I'm only just over 5'8", so 196 pounds to me was pretty flabby. And I decided enough is enough, something needs to change. I'm going to get myself back in shape, but not only that, I'm going to set a goal. I don't ever do anything sort of half-assed. When I set a goal and I put something on a calendar, that is something that I'm absolutely going to do. So I found a competition in November, a men's physique competition in Calgary, and I decided I'm going to sign up for that. I'm going to do that. Now, I had never done that before. I'd never competed in it. I didn't really know the first thing about men's physique or bodybuilding competitions or any of that kind of thing. I had no idea sort of what it entailed other than lifting weights and getting in shape. Well, as it turns out, there was a lot more to that. And so along the way, I made a whole crap ton of mistakes as well. So the first thing is diet is everything. And I quickly learned that too much too soon was not the best approach, but that was the approach I took. I cut calories way too fast into the process. I had a full 7 months to get myself in shape, but I was, I put my calories right into the basement, and I hit a whole series of plateaus. And then by the end, I struggled into the competition, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into the video. The other thing I learned is having a coach, just how important that is. I waited until pretty late into the game to get a coach, and had I done that, I wouldn't have made nearly as many mistakes as I did. Having a coach, so important for getting your diet dialed in, teaching you how to do all of the posing. But the other thing is, you don't really know what you don't know, so even how the show is going to go, and if you've never been to one, I'd never even seen one, so to know how that show's going to go, what it's going to look like in the morning, what it's going to look like at night, when you're going to go get your tan, what kind of shorts do you need to wear. I had about 1 million questions, and having a coach really helped me with all of that process. So invaluable to get a coach. So that's something you want to make sure you do as soon as you decide that you're going to do one of these competitions. Really what I want to show you in this video, though, is I'm not going to bore you with all the details leading up to just before the competition, but I'm going to take you through what peak week looks like. And now peak week is the week that's leading up to the competition. And I was really under the gun to get the last few things dialed in. I had just made too many little errors along the way, so I always felt like I was sort of coming from behind with my fat loss, with my conditioning, with a lot of things. I had lost altogether way too much muscle, just a whole lot of things, and I just wanted to have a chance to show you what my peak week looked like in order to get myself together before stepping on the stage. So all in all, absolutely awesome experience. I have nothing bad to say about it. In fact, I have plans to compete again in June in Kelowna so this will be my second men's physique competition as a 53-year-old guy. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and enjoy. $153.8. So it is Saturday, November the 25th. We are exactly 1 week out from the big competition, men's physique, at the Alberta Fall Naturals. I'm going to be competing in the plus 50 event, true novice and the open categories. First time ever competing, and
Here we are going to bang up some cardio for a big chunk of today for sure. I'm on the exercise bike. Started switching to this about a week ago. I started on the bike 6 a.m. I'm going to ride for an hour today before I have some breakfast, and then I'm going to get my steps in later on. Throughout this cut, I've pretty much all of my cardio has come from walking steps on the treadmill. Try to keep things above 12,000 steps a day. Gradually increase to 15,000. And on more ambitious days, pushing to about 20,000 steps. Seeing how I'm coming up from behind in this prep. Over the weekend, I'm gonna see just how far I can push those steps. Probably aiming for between 20,000 and 30,000 steps today, Saturday, and tomorrow, Sunday, leading into this peak week. So I'm definitely coming in from behind, and I want to see the scale weight drop. This morning I stepped on the scale at 53 pounds, and I want to see that scale drop down to 153 pounds. I want to see that scale weight drop down to 150 pounds by Monday morning. Funny thing about setting that weight, 150 pounds was that was a weight goal when it was a weight goal I set a while back, thinking that would be where I would be when I stepped on stage. But I am carrying quite a bit of extra flab still in the lower abs, in around the love handles and whatnot. So I want to see that gone. So we'll be definitely down in the 140s is the goal here when I step on the scale in a week. So we'll see where we get. So right now I'm going to burn 500 calories on this exercise bike, and then go make some breakfast.
All right, breakfast time. So today we're going to be looking at we're about 1,100 calories. We're 1 week out from show. Calories have been cut down significantly for me for a number of reasons. Mostly I'm coming in from behind on this, so 1,100 calories is the game plan. No carbs, virtually no carbs, super low fat, almost none. Really, main concern for me right now is keeping the protein high. I'm somewhere around 190 grams of protein. I weigh in about 153 pounds today, so trying to keep the protein high. Breakfast here looks probably kind of disgusting. That's just 200 grams of eggs. I've got a bit of cinnamon sprinkled on top. Nothing else in that. Looks boring, but to me, I can put anything on food right now when I'm absolutely freaking starving. I've been putting, in the past, I was putting PB&Me on pretty much everything. I could put that on broccoli and eat it. Absolutely love it. So this is just cinnamon on egg whites, 200 grams of egg whites. This is just a scoop of protein in water. I just got it mixed up like a sludge. I'm kind of at the point now where I would rather eat something than drink the protein shake, so I feel like I'm actually having something of substance there. So that's just one scoop of protein. There's 24 grams of protein or so in that. Of course, caffeine. I drink just an absurd amount of caffeine throughout the day. It helps to curb my hunger, keeps metabolism going strong. I don't need any pre-workout. I just drink a shit ton of caffeine. So all black coffee. In terms of supplements that I'm taking throughout the day, looks like a lot, but it's actually not. Cut out the creatine about 2 weeks ago, and I know there's
all kinds of mixed opinions on that. I've always taken it. My coach insisted that I go off the creatine. I just listening to my coach. He knows what he's doing way better than I do. So following his protocol on this one, his guidance. So I'm no longer taking that. Scoop of glutamine every day. Scoop of greens. I've got the HMB as well. Vitamin C, so I take 4 of these every day. Keep my vitamin C up. Of course, I'm not eating any fruits. Cut out the bananas. Absolutely love bananas. But no bananas, no fruit. I'm not eating any of that right now. So need the vitamin C. Keep going. Magnesium, I take this one at night only because it's got a bit of a sleep aid in it, and my sleep absolutely sucks. So I take that as well. I have to take a B12 supplement because when I have my blood work done, I am deficient in B12. No matter how many eggs, how much chicken I was eating, it didn't seem to matter. B12 is low for me. So I take one of those. A zinc supplement, D3. Of course, can't get enough vitamin D. Living in the north too. It's getting a little darker, but I always take my vitamin D. Don't forget my multivitamin for everything else that I've missed, and make sure I keep my bones strong with some calcium. And that's really about it. Nothing really fancy there. And this is breakfast, so I'm gonna eat this, and then I'm gonna hit the gym, lift some weights. I'm gonna do a posing session with my guy online, and then I'm going to hit that treadmill and get those steps in today. So I'll catch you at the next meal.
So here we are, it is Sunday, November the 26th. Last day before we head into peak week, before the sort of last push before we go to the Alberta Fall Naturals, men's physique, 50 plus. So today's cardio, I'm just walking on the treadmill, not at a huge fast pace. I'm at about a 3.2 flat. I'm not pushing up any steep inclines, anything like that, but I am increasing my step count over the next few days before I'm sort of cutting everything out and traveling to Calgary. I'm increasing my step count today to about 30,000 steps, which sounds like a lot. However, keeping things pretty flat, pretty moderate pace. Again, I'm coming in from behind in terms of some of my weight loss and whatnot, and had some pretty serious plateaus. Right now, I weighed this morning at 152.4 pounds, and very much like to be sub 150 pounds this week. So paying attention to that, really trying to move some water retention off of my body and whatnot. So I'll probably sort of alternate between riding the bike a little bit in the morning and getting steps in, not pushing the weights all that hard. So mostly just sort of getting a good pump in with the workouts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before I travel to Calgary on Thursday. So the treadmill's kind of become a really important part of my cardio throughout this prep. I like it because I'm, coming from a cycling background, I found that road cycling actually made me quite hungry. Running on the road and jogging makes me hungry. So I come back from that sort of cardio and I want to fill my face full of carbs. I don't find that with the walking. It's fairly easy. I normally set it at about an incline of 4, speed of about 3.4, and I'll burn somewhere between, I'll walk somewhere between 12,000 and 15,000 steps normally. 15,000 steps being the goal, especially later in this prep. The walking doesn't make me feel overly hungry. I can keep going. I find I can keep pushing myself.
And even though I'm not burning calories as fast as I would on the bike, I find I can just sort of stretch that out a little longer, manage the hunger, and keep the calories sort of coming off. Also find that there's a lot less fatigue in the legs in walking, so I'm not building up all that sort of heavy sort of lactic acid in my legs. I'm not getting all the inflammation that I might get if I was running or heavy cycling or any of that sort of cardio. So it's been a bit of a game changer for me, just simply walking. And I think like ultimately, if the goal is to keep the muscle on and just kind of move the water off the body right now, and just sort of keeping things very zone 2, very moderate sort of pace, flat 3.2 speed. That's kind of the goal for me over the next few days of this prep before I sit in a car and drive all the way down to Calgary. Right now I'm at about 17,000 steps. And how I did that today here is I split it up today a little bit. Got up this morning, walked about 10,000 steps, then went and did some grocery shopping and got some supplies ready for my trip, walking just sort of around Walmart, probably quite a few little steps just kind of around there. And here I am again. It's late afternoon. I'm just going to finish up my steps and maybe get things to about we'll say about 20,000 steps, and maybe I'll take a little break, have a bite to eat, and finish off my last steps. Probably bring things to about 30,000. I know that's quite a high step count, but that's kind of the goal for today, as I'm trying to strip away some of the last bit of fat down on my lower abdominals and on my love handles and whatnot, just to give me a little more definition as I'm finishing off the last of my prep here, heading into peak week tomorrow morning. So here we are, the 26th again. Meal plans right now are rather boring, but it's working for me. Morning, I think I already showed you a little bit of sort of sludgy protein. No more oatmeal anymore right now because I'm on 1,100 calories right now, and there's absolutely almost just trace numbers of carbs in my diet right now, from now until I start to carb up again on Thursday. So it's that sort of protein sludge, I call it, and some egg whites, and that's breakfast for me. I'm eating 3 meals of tilapia, along with broccoli, and that seems to be I actually have acquired a taste for it. I'm not really much of a fish eater, but tilapia, I'm quite enjoying it. I ate tuna most of this prep. Switching over to tilapia has been really good. A little lower in the sodium as well, which I think kind of helps too with the water retention. So here we are, just sort of cooking up some tilapia in the oven today. As I'm on the treadmill, just sort of taking a break to get that all prepped up for the morning. And then I don't have the luxury of not going to work the next few days, so packing that for lunch, it's really easy. Chuck that in the fridge at work. The broccoli keeps me a little more satiated for sure. It helps. Also the drinking a ton of water right now. So I did start here on Sunday. I did start to water load a little more than usual. I've been just sort of on about 4 liters of water in the last few days. And so right now I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to drink 6 liters of water today. And then tomorrow, Monday, my first official week of peak week,
I'm gonna down 10 liters of water. Wish me luck. Never drank that much water before, but that's the goal. Tomorrow is gonna be 10 liters of water. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll start to cut it down a little bit on Thursday as I start to introduce more carbs into the diet for Thursday and Friday and into the show on Saturday. So for now, yep, just prepping up some tilapia and getting it ready for the work week this week. And that's about it. My boring diet.
150.8.
We are arriving in Calgary at the Weston Airport Hotel and Conference Center where the big show is. So now to figure out where to get the car and all that jazz. So here we are now. It is Thursday, peak week. Show's on Saturday. I'm now at the Weston Airport Hotel here in Calgary, and just had a meal. Today I'm actually back on the carbs, and water taper's been going really great. Happy to not be drinking 10 liters of water anymore. That was kind of a rough one, if I'm being honest. Today we're on about 6 liters of water, and tomorrow being Friday, we're going to cut that back to probably about 3 liters of water. And then by Saturday, we'll just be sipping on water. The point of this whole thing is to drink enough water that your body doesn't think it's a camel anymore. The more water you drink, the more you're going to want to pee. And the more you pee, the more you're going to be able to pee some of that water that your body is storing. Get rid of that, get everything looking nice and dry and nice and tight for when you're on stage. Back on carbs today, and that has mostly been, I had a little bit of oats this morning with protein, had some rice cakes and some rice with my tilapia as well, and kind of timed that up in driving down from Prince George today, where I could stop and kind of have a meal on the side of the road. Pre-cooked everything and packed it all up and brought it down. Just so I can kind of show you what that looks like. So nice that I have a fridge here in the hotel room. And so inside, keeping a little bit of rice, a little bit of chicken, some tilapia, and some no-fat Greek yogurt, lactose-free, of course. Got myself a root beer for when I'm done competing, and saving that for Saturday night. I brought some things with me too, a bunch of water, vitamins and whatnot, whole pile of rice cakes and things. Brought some cereal. I don't really know if I'm going to eat this, but in case I want a handful of this and that, something different. Some Frosted Flakes, Rice Krispies, of course. Some canned chicken, canned tuna, some almond butter, and honey, which is kind of gonna be really nice on rice cakes as I'm on Saturday, just to give me that little extra spike of glucose before I go out there. Yeah, they didn't give me a microwave, even though I requested one, and it really sucks because I've been eating rice and tilapia that's kind of cold. Anyway, I'm gonna have to sort of live with that, and I kind of banked on that, which is why I brought canned chicken, and canned tuna requires no real cooking whatsoever, and done it before. I don't mind just mixing it up with some pre-cooked rice and downing that, just so I have a little bit of protein. Again, this weekend isn't really all about the protein. The protein's essentially doing nothing, just kind of keeping me full over the next few days. so it feels like I'm really eating something. I'm really trying to get the carbs back in after being depleted for a week of no carbs. The goal right now is to get the glycogen in the muscle, and the way we're doing that is we're still drinking quite a bit of water here on Thursday as I start my first carb reload day. Tomorrow I'm going to taper off the water a little bit, but I'm going to keep the carbs high. By Saturday, I'll just be sipping water, and we'll be kind of keeping the eating super low, but be taking some rice cakes with some honey, a few chocolate squares with me, that sort of thing, before I go on. And I should be nicely carb loaded by Saturday anyway, and looking nice and full. So we're just kind of be keeping an eye on that. So right now I'm just going to walk down through the convention center, see if I can find out where all the cool things are going to be happening here. So stay tuned. Just having a look around the Weston Conference Center. Beautiful space. We'll see where they're getting all set up to have the big event. Looks like they're a huge, fantastic room. I'm guessing down in this area is where they're going to set up all the stage and all the stuff. You see a whole bunch of sound gear down in the corner. This looks like it's the place. Well, we're here at the hotel gym, and just going to get kind of a pretty skookum little place actually. Got a nice set of dumbbells and some good cardio stuff, and a multi-trainer, and really the objective right now is just to get kind of after sitting in the car for the last 8-9 hours driving, just gonna try to get a quick workout in and just get some of these carbs kind of moving around a little bit, get my body kind of moving, just super light, probably three sets per exercise, just high rep. And the intention is not to build any muscle here, it's just to kind of keep things kind of moving, keep things kind of primed, get things going where they need to be, and yeah, just a quick workout in. Well, good morning. It is Friday, October the 31st. Here we are, Halloween, and we're in peak week, of course. We're the last day before we hit the stage tomorrow, and final sort of preparations before all of this comes together. It's been 7 months of hard work, coming down from 196 pounds when I started this in April. Stepped on the scale this morning at a whopping 149 pounds. So the weight's really fallen off. This week has been a tremendous amount. Peak week, I can't stress. It is difficult, at least the first part of it. Now, as I said before, I've always felt like I'm coming from behind on this, and felt like I'd gotten stuck a few times along this process with regards to my weight. The first one being around 165, 166 pounds, where I just could not make the scale move no matter what I did. I had already had my calories were already kind of heading into the basement. And, that's when I first decided I was going to hire a coach and start to sort of reevaluate how I was doing things and ramp the calories back up, come back at this with a different sort of plan, so that I could get the weight moving again. And that's exactly what we did. Move things along, and there would be more plateaus along the way, and there certainly were. There were a couple of more that came along. Probably the last really tough plateau hit me at about 155 pounds, where I just could not shake any more weight off, no matter I could do morning cardio, fasted cardio. It didn't matter what I was doing, walking the 20,000 steps, cutting the calories down. I think I was sitting at about 1,400 calories at that point in time. Still couldn't make the scale move. So the last little bit to get to where I am now kind of required a little bit of an extra shove. I definitely wouldn't recommend this for everybody, but again, it's me. I'm about 5'9". I have a pretty slight frame and build anyway, so I'm probably on the light end anyway. However, in order to get the weight down, I did do some drastic things with regards to my calories, working with my coach, JL. We pushed the calories not for a long time, but we sat at about 1,400 calories for a while. Mostly very, very clean tilapia, and carbs were pretty minimal along that stretch as well. I think it started out, it was like sweet potato and tilapia mostly. Not a whole ton of variety in that diet that I was eating, a little bit of broccoli, but it did get things kind of moving. Then we switched things again, so I started to kind of stagnate a little bit, and then we did a bit of again, a very sort of very extreme sort of push, I will agree, but I was the one that suggested doing it, and my coach was just willing to kind of help me out and make sure that I could do it safely. And we went full keto for over a week. I went full keto, cut all of the carbs out, and things were very, still sticking with tilapia, and just very lean, 1,100 calories of food. Cut the oats right out, cut all of there were no bananas, there was no fruit, there was nothing, not a lot of fun stuff going on there. Stuck to the 1,100 calories to make it through until peak week. And so here we are now. I kept that up until Thursday. And then Thursday, of course, that was yesterday, we started to carb load. And so right now, that's kind of my main thing. I'm not really counting the calories so much, or the protein. I am still eating protein, of course, just to kind of keep me full. But for the most part, I have been, there's been a lot of rice I've been eating. I've been eating a lot of rice. I've been eating a lot of rice cakes with honey on top. And I'm trying to keep things as clean as I possibly can, because I just don't know how I would do with some of the other things that some people do. I know there's some people, I've watched the Greg Doucette diets where he's loading up on boxes of cereal and chocolate bars and candies and all of that. And I know there's other people who go out the night before the show and they'll have a great big burger and fries and all of that. And all the power to them. I just know my body, and I just know that that's not going to sit well with me. Coming from behind, I don't want to wake up in the morning feeling like I'm weighted down and I'm bloated from all of the extra, all of that extra meat and all of that extra processing, all of that stuff that's in that hamburger and that fries and whatnot. I just can't do that. The same thing with the sugary kind of snacks and whatnot. Believe me, I'd like nothing more than to mow down a box of cereal. I did bring some of that stuff with me just in case I sort of felt the need to put my hand into a box of Frosted Flakes, dry Frosted Flakes. I did bring some of that. I'm going to resist eating that if I can, just as little processed food as I possibly can, and sugars like that. I think I'm just going to stay away from it and kind of stick to the things I know how I'm going to react to. Brought some Pop-Tarts as well, but again, I'm not sure, having this being my first time, I'm not sure how that's going to sit in my body, so I'm just going to wait. So I've got some plain Hershey's chocolate bars, and I'm saving that as a treat for myself for after the show. However, maybe I'll bring a square or two just for that extra pump. Maybe I'll take that just before I go out and do my thing, but not something that's going to, I'm going to eat so much of it that it's just gonna settle in my stomach and make me feel bloated, and the water weight's gonna be on me or whatever. I'm just scared to death how that's gonna happen. Water consumption today. Yesterday I was still fairly high on the water, so I think on Thursday of my prep week, so 2 days out, I drank about 6.5 liters of water, something like that. Down from the 10 that I drank the other day, that's for sure. And then today, Friday, I'm keeping the water pretty low now, so I'll probably have maybe 2 liters of water today, max. I'm just kind of sipping on it throughout the day as I'm having the carbs. It just helps everything kind of get going where it needs to go, and helps get that down. Tomorrow being show day, we're shutting the water off, so it's going to be pretty strict on that. Water is just sort of for sipping throughout the day, and same with the consumption of food. I'm gonna get up in the morning. Carbs are gonna sort of look and assess and see how I'm doing, but carb wise, I'm not gonna eat a ton, just enough to kind of keep my pump going. Enough. I'll take some rice cakes with me down to the show, keep that stuff in my backpack, some honey and whatnot. A little bit, like I said, maybe a square to a chocolate here and there, but I'm keeping things extremely lean. I just know myself, coming from behind where I've been, feel like I'm carrying a little bit more on my midsection than maybe I should be. I'm always feeling like I was 2 weeks behind on this cut. I'm gonna keep things as lean as I possibly can and give myself every fighting chance I can when I'm up on that stage. A couple other things I'm kind of deciding. So 3 o'clock today, I go down and get my spray tan, and then it's basically just chilling, kind of let that set, hanging around the hotel room a little bit, just sort of relaxing, getting some rest, and then I go to the athletes meeting a little later on, get some information about how all that's going to work. Now, when I go to register, I'm already registered for a couple of classes. Right now, I'm doing a men's physique masters plus 50. I'm 53 years old, so I'm excited to give that a go. I have no idea how many competitors will be in that. I can't think it would be a huge class. So, my coach suggested signing up for a couple other things. I signed up for a true novice because I've never done this before. So I'm going to give the true novice class a go, of course. And my coach said, what the heck, why not give the open class a go? Now in men's physique, those are not based on age or based on weight. That is based on height. And I'm just under 5'9", maybe 5'8 3/4, something like that. So I know I'm pretty average height. There'll be probably a lot more competition, I'm thinking, probably in that height. I also know that I could be competing against guys who are 25, 30 years old, people with a lot more muscle and experience on their frames that I have. But I do want to push myself a little bit, and I do expect that come May, I am 100% going to be looking to do. I'd like to see if I could get to a national competition at some point, would be a goal. So, hey, you know what? I've put in 7 months of hard work cutting and getting to where I'm at right now. What's the worst that can happen, right? I lose $100 for entering the show. And really, at the end of the day, is it about winning that, or is it about saying that I did it? It's something on my bucket list to say I did get that experience, carry that into the May show, and see what I can do with it. Anyway, I'm excited to learn more as we go. This experience has been absolutely tremendous. I'll keep you posted after I go get the spray tan.
Good morning. It is Saturday, November the 1st, and that means we are officially at show day here at the Alberta Fall Naturals. I'm competing in the men's physique today in 3 different events. I will be doing the true novice, as this is my first time competing, 50 plus masters category, and finally I'll be competing in the open class just to kind of just to see how I do against all the young guys. Today's sort of a bit of an action
packed day because I have to go down and get my tan fixed up, dark as could be, but you could see a couple little mess ups on my arm. Brushing my teeth this morning, I dripped some water on my chest and messed up my tan a little bit there, and that's why there's a touch-up that's scheduled first thing in the morning. 5 a.m. I'll be down there to get that done. It is now about 4:15 in the morning here in Alberta. I didn't sleep worth a crap last night anyway, to be honest. Pretty tough because yesterday was super low, water tapering from the big, from all the water that I had, and pretty much cut things down to about 2 liters yesterday in water. Today I am, it is just sipping water all day, so I'm gonna be super dehydrated, and my sleep was kind of crap last night, partly because of that. I did wake up, stepped on the scale this morning, 149.2 pounds, which a bit shocking really, because I ate just a ton of carbs yesterday with all the rice that I was eating. I was still eating a little bit of protein as well. I don't know how many rice cakes I had with honey on them, and a few other things as well. It was just oats. It was just sort of a total carb up the last couple of days. Yesterday was a pretty good carb up too. Feels good after a whole week of none, but it was a lot, and still lost weight probably because I've not been drinking much water, so pretty dehydrated. Today's just going to be more so it's just sipping water throughout the day. I will actually be, the show doesn't start till 9 o'clock this morning, so I'll be heading down around that time. All the men kind of go, they start with the bodybuilding guys and work their way into the men's physique as we go. So I'll be just sort of waiting for my 3 classes to happen. Throughout the day, what am I going to be eating? So I got up this morning, I actually had 40 grams of oats, about half a scoop of whey protein powder. Quite honestly, protein doesn't really matter right now. I'm not building muscle today. So really it's just a matter of keeping the glycogen in the muscles and keeping everything looking full. So I'm just trying to keep that going throughout the day, keep the glycogen inside the muscles. So yeah, I had the oats. I had about a half a scoop of protein powder, and I had 4 rice cakes with honey on them. Today is a very boring diet because I'm actually trying not to eat much at all. Again, it's just about glycogen in the muscles. So there's, I'm just gonna be staying off of meals. I'm not even eating rice today just because of a lot of water in that. Takes a little longer to digest that. I'm looking for sort of fast acting sort of carbs. So I'm not going to be eating sort of wet rice, but I will be eating rice cakes. So I'll be taking with me a backpack down to the show. So bringing just some plain rice cakes. I put a bunch of honey on it, and it actually tastes pretty good, especially after not having carbs for a long time. And I made myself sort of a little bucket of candies and whatnot. In there, it's Jolly Ranchers. I think there's like some Fuzzy Peach, just some, a couple of those just to keep a bit of a sugar rush going, keep the veins popping when the pump looks really good when I walk out on the stage. Want to make sure keeping that going. I'll probably bring a chocolate bar with me, just a plain Hershey's, in case I want a square or 2 of that, just to stay sort of sugared up and to get out there and look full. So just so the muscles look full, sipping a little bit of water just to kind of keep the carbs kind of moving, keep myself a little bit hydrated, but that's about it. Today might be maybe a liter of water, maybe 1.5 liters, not very much. Quite honestly, the hardest thing today was being a big coffee drinker, not really having much coffee at all. I slammed the tiniest, I made it extra strong instant coffee today.
Wasn't allowed to have much water, so it was extra potent, knowing I wasn't going to be getting much coffee in today. So did slam that early this morning. Pretty cool. Last night was the after registration. We did a meeting with the coaches, or with the judges. Got to hear a lot about the show. The show promoter as well talked a lot about the show. People from all over Canada have come to this. Really exciting to see. Probably the coolest fellow in his late 60s. This is his 160 some odd show that he's done. He started competing in the 1970s, so really cool to hear his story. Show promoters gave us some cool things. You know, they always give you kind of a bit of a swag bag with these things. So Supplement World actually sponsored this, and just full of, you name it, stuff from their store. There's like some wrist straps in there. There's pre-workouts. There's BCAAs. There's just a whole ton of different supplements and things. Plus, surprisingly, or maybe not so surprising, shit ton of garbage stuff as well, like junk food things and chips and candies and some great custom-made cookies and all of that kind of stuff. So a great bag. Definitely be digging into some of that stuff after the show. Great. They give all the competitors one of these really great medals for coming out and joining the show. This is from the Canadian Physique Alliance. So really cool little takeaway for people at the show. And most importantly, of course, this is where once you register, you get your number. I'm going to be rocking number 29 today on my shorts. So anyway, I'll keep you updated. Heading down for the tan here in about half an hour or so. So that was peak week, heading into my very first men's physique competition in November. It was an absolutely incredible experience. Despite all the setbacks, I don't think I'd ever change anything. The learning was probably even better than going through the experience of doing the show. I learned a lot, and one thing that I take from this is that when I do this again in June, I know that I'm going to do things differently. I did pretty well in this competition. I did take first place in the 50 plus category, and then I did reasonably well in the open category as well. I got absolutely annihilated in the true novice, which is to be expected, competing against a lot of 20-year-olds over 6 feet tall. But it was still absolutely an awesome experience. I met some incredible people while I was there. And I will say the community in men's physique and bodybuilding are incredibly supportive. They're not really competitive with each other at all. They're very friendly. They're there to give great advice and to cheer you on. It was just the best experience ever. So moving forward, I am going to compete again in June in Kelowna, and this time I'm doing it different. Right now I'm currently 175 pounds, so I put a bit of weight on, and I'm in a bit of a off-season bulk right now, trying to put a little bit more muscle on. I definitely don't want to go into the next one at 148 pounds. I'd like to be a little bit heavier, try to hang on to more of that muscle as I get closer to peak week and heading into peak week. So what does that mean? That means calories. I'm going to try to keep the calories up as high as I can for as long as I can. Do my cut very gradually, just cutting, maybe 500 calories a day. leading into it. None of this plus 1,000 calories a day cut. I won't be doing that. I'm going to be trying to keep things sustainable so I have more energy, not burning through my my muscles, not burning through my sugar reserves. I'm going to try to make sure that I'm doing it right so I don't have to be hammering the cardio like I did the last time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next time around. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to hit like and subscribe for more videos. I'll be posting some more as I head into as I document this next journey up till June. So I'll be documenting my workouts and my diets and all the other parts of my training, the things that I learn heading into my next men's physique. All right, thank you so much. I will see you soon on the next program.